Hello everybody who is watching this video, and I am back with another kind of Paladins video, but of course also a comparison video like I do sometimes. So yeah, today we are going to be talking about Overwatch versus Paladins. These games have been compared quite a few times. They're in very similar genre. So I think it'd be interesting to just see what Overwatch has over Paladins and vice versa. So I'm going to be starting off with the things that I believe Paladins does better than Overwatch. So the first thing I'm going to bring up, because it's part of the major thing that Paladins has over Overwatch, is that skins change the champions a bit more in Paladins. Because you have skins such as Abyssal Lord Drogos, which very much change the model. And quite a few skins that, like Anara Battle Bite, I believe. That skin changes her from not from like a stone guardian kind of to an actual human. So I think Paladin skins are a bit unique to the character than Overwatch skins. Overwatch skins, for the most part, feel more like costumes or something more of like just clothing rather than complete different in the character. Obviously there are some examples you can bring up where it very much changes the character, but I think Paladins has much stronger examples of that. And the next, along that same line of thinking, the next thing is that you can have weapons mixed with different skins. So that is very, like, if you don't like one weapon but you love the skin it's on, you can still use that skin that you really like, but at the same time you don't have to deal with, maybe it's too bulky a weapon for you, or maybe it just doesn't have a scope that you like. So that is another thing that very convenient in Paladins that is unfortunately not in Overwatch. The next thing I am going to say is that Paladins has mounts, which is it just lets you get to the action quicker, and it lets you do so many things that would be very, very annoying to do in Overwatch. Just getting all the way back to the point, moving around to get your starting positioning. So mounts are definitely a good addition to Paladins that are not in Overwatch. The VGS system, although it is being lessened in Season 3, the VGS system in Paladins lets you communicate with your team and strategize with your team without actually having to be in chat. And I haven't played Overwatch for too long. I've played it quite a bit, like recently, but I haven't played it for a long time. So I don't really listen to voice chat too much, but I have heard that it is very, very toxic and generally bad from many other people. So the VGS system is very good in Paladins. Next thing is that Paladins has more champions and are pumping out champions faster, which helps keep the game fresh, of course, and everything's more exciting when you have something new happening. It's not like they're rushing out characters either. Like, all the characters are pretty well made, I'd say. Maybe not the most balanced. As Rom and Io are very strong, and Tiberius is appearing to be, well, Tiberius is appearing to be quite balanced. But so yeah, there's definitely more things happening in general with champions and Paladins. The next thing, I think the biggest, well, I'll go over items first. So items are the kind of like the being able to change heroes in Overwatch, as far as that's how you counterplay people. And I think it's a very smart thing to do, because if somebody, like, Saris would be far too strong in, like, say if she was in Overwatch, of course, with all the stat skilled and everything, she would be far too strong because she gives crazy amounts of healing. But a character like that can exist in Paladins because there is, of course, the item Cauterize, which at max level reduces healing by 90%. So I think items are a very good and smart way to counterplay. And now we're on to the two biggest things I think Paladins has over Overwatch, which is the first one, the talent card slash just card system. The card system is very, very nicely implemented, and it makes it so that you have a very customizable experience. You can play, I believe, Healer Sky and Healer Emoji are coming, well, more Healer Sky are coming into the meta now. And, of course, they're usually flank characters. So it's very, very, and you can play Damage Grok, as you can see in the clips that I am putting up while reading this. So the talent card system is absolutely, like, amazing. Because in Overwatch, if you have an Ashe fighting an Ashe, both those Ashes are going to be playing in the same style, if they're playing correctly at least. The Genji is going to be playing the same as another Genji. Hanzo's going to be playing the same as another Hanzo. Not Gonzo, Jesus. But, yeah, like, they're all going to be playing the same. For the most part. But, like, if they're playing correctly, they are playing the same. Which can get mildly stale, not too bad, but in Paladins you can just, even if you're tired of playing your main, you can play them in a completely different way and make the experience like just better for you. And of course, the biggest thing the Paladins has over Overwatch is that it is 100% free to play. Like, obviously that's just a very big thing. That now it's not necessarily about the quality of the game, but Paladins is very customizable. I think that's the major thing that it has against Overwatch. And considering that with the fact that it's free, it definitely gives it a very solid case to be a better time than Overwatch. I don't know what you would call it. So yeah, Paladin is, its strength is customability, I would say. And the game, both games feel very smooth, but Paladins I think feels a little bit smoother than Overwatch in some instances, just by the tiniest bit. And now we're going to go on to things that Overwatch does better than Paladins. Which the first thing, a kind of minor thing I would say, would be that you can crouch and melee with almost every character. Of course, you can melee with every character. Only some characters can crouch. I believe Wrecking Ball can't crouch. I'm sure there's a few other champions that can't crouch. Reinhardt may not be able to. I'm not too sure. But and having a centralized mechanic like that just means that a skilled player is going to be better with like a brand new champion than somebody else, just because they can go off those basic fundamentals, and so that's always good to have like a centralized attribute. And there are more game modes in Overwatch, which I think is probably the biggest thing for me personally that Overwatch has over Paladins. Like, just because I think that, I'll get to this later, I think the siege matches in Paladins are better than siege matches in Overwatch. I know they're not called siege in Overwatch, I don't believe, but in Paladins the siege matches are better, but there's so many more game modes in Overwatch, you can almost ignore the siege mode, and just like if you just want to mess around, and as well as custom mode, you can just mess around in there. In Overwatch, there's a lot more messing around to do, and in Paladins, is more like you go into a game, you're in it for the long run. I'll also get to that later because it's more of a neutral point than specifically Overwatch being better or Paladins being better. And another thing, in Overwatch there are less bugs, Slightly better graphics. All champions are unlocked, although you do have to pay for the game. Anyways, so it's kind of another really good thing about Overwatch is that you can change heroes, which it causes you to want to main a lot of heroes, which I think is a very healthy thing for a game. It means you can't just choose one hero, especially in elimination, because then you can't use them after you win once with them. So I think that's a very good mechanic for counter playing. About as good as Paladins' item system. That can be a debate, but changing heroes is definitely a very cool thing in Overwatch that you can do. Like if things just aren't working. And then of course in Overwatch you have the cinematics and the lore, which is very interesting and intriguing. Because of course Paladins Overwatch was originally going to be a movie, I believe. So that's very those things were meant to be anyways. So in Paladins, all the lore is kind of restricted to one paragraph per champion, but the lore and everything in Overwatch is very, very in-depth, which gives more dimension to the characters, I think. And now on to the kind of neutral things between Paladins and Overwatch. Characters die much faster in Overwatch. The siege games go much faster in Overwatch, which I think characters dying faster is kind of just a very faster or slower, doesn't really matter to me as far as gameplay wise. But the siege matches going faster kind of makes it feel less impactful. Like you won a siege match, but it happened much quicker than it would in Paladins, so it kind of feels not quite as great. So I think it's kind of on better for Paladins, but it's your preference. But that's why I think siege matches feel better in Paladins, because it's just like you're in it for a long time, and when you finally win, or if you finally lose, it feels like a long battle. I mean, unless you got crushed, but same thing in Overwatch. And then of course there's the issue of champion similarities. Reinhardt and Fernando / Terminus, Makoa and Roadhog, Torbjorn and Barrack, but although they're both kind of the engineer from TF2. And then Sombra kind of is similar to Sky with the purple and invisibility and kind of her weapon. But these are kind of just character archetypes. They're just okay, look at this mechanic that is in Paladins or is in Overwatch. We should use that because it's a good mechanic for this game style. I think the last thing I would like to go over is that Paladins is all about aerial mobility. Overwatch is more about ground mobility. And that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys have a good day. Leave in the comments if you think this was a good comparison video, and if you like Paladins or Overwatch better. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.